Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM WILY in conjunction with AreaSports.net proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is one of the longest-running local sports talk shows in the area, featuring 90 minutes of great local sports talk with coaches, athletes, and other media personnel. Who will be on the couch this morning? Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. And hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here on Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM WILY, and of course here video streaming live on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson along with Danny Anselment. Boy, the basketball season's winding down, Danny, but man, there's excitement everywhere. Whether you're talking about boys basketball, girls basketball, junior high basketball, a lot going on in there.
Yeah, put a wrap on the regular season in most locations. I think there's a game or two yet tonight, but regional play is going to start next week for 1A and 2A, and 3A and 4A will wrap up the regular season next week. So basketball, sometimes it's felt like it's a grind, and now it seems like it's just went like a flash.
And the 1A and 2A girls are moving into the super sectionals next week. And the 3A and 4A girls will move into their sectional play next week. And so there's a lot to talk about. And then, of course, the boys junior high state tournament just concluded over the weekend. And, boy, what a huge win for the Casey Junior Rams as they win the state title in Class L as they beat a team from Belleville called Bell Valley. And they scored 76 points in the championship game, Danny, 76-61. That's a lot of points in a championship game in junior high.
That is a lot of points. Mount Vernon Rams have to be excited about this group coming in.
Yeah, they're 24-3 is what they finished under Coach Travis Pinkston. He'll be on the show with us today to talk about that state tournament run. And we honored him and his team last night at halftime of the Mount Vernon Rams-Cahokia game. Also, Jeff Lonnon of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams will be on with us. They surprised Olney on their floor the other night. Number one seeded Olney Lady Tigers as the Lady Rams won that Class 3A regional. They'll now move on to the 3A sectional at Effingham, where they've got a date against a very good Highland team. And so we'll talk to Coach Lonnon about that.
Yeah, Lady Rams are having some success here at the end of the year, and I'm sure they're excited, looking forward to moving to the next round.
That was 18th win of the season for Coach Lonnon and his girls the other night. Also, we'll talk to Coach Scott McElravy of the Fairfield Mules. They fine-tuned themselves last night with a big win over Carmi as they get ready to try to move on and go deep into postseason Class 1A Regional. They'll be the number one seed at the Carmi Regional beginning next week. Also, Doug Creel of Mount Vernon Rams will join us as they still got a chance to wrap up the regular season championship in the South 7. They got a date on the road next week at Marion after winning last night at home against Cahokia on senior night. And the Rams found out this week that they are the number one seed in the Class 3A Regional to be played at Marion. So Coach Creel got to be happy about that.
You would think he'd be ecstatic looking at those pairings. He's got a chance next week to tie for the conference championship. So
unless Carbondale stubs their toe at Centralia, which could happen.
Oh, yeah, Centralia's one game behind, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was thinking they were all tied.
Well, and they're tied with Carbondale. Marion was in the tie, but now they've lost. So it's a tie right now between Mount Vernon and Carbondale. But if Carbondale stubs their toe at Centralia, which could easily happen.
I was thinking Centralia, Mount Vernon, and Carbondale were all the same.
And then Mount Vernon would have to win at Marion, though, too. Also, Doug Miller, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes, will be on the show. You were there last night doing that game, and they pulled it out at Johnston City.
Yeah, a game that started very ugly for the Foxes, but they got regrouped and finally caught them and finally took the lead and made enough free throws at the end to hang on.
And then we're going to have two different guests on because we're going to preview the girls' Class 1A Super or Class 2A Super Sectional that's going to be played this coming Monday night down at McLeansboro. It's going to be the Carterville Lady Lions against the Totopolis Lady Wooden Shoes. And we'll have Coach Matt Crain of Carterville on the show with us. And we'll also talk to video producer from T-Town, Tyler Repking, who has been following the Lady Shoes all year long. And so we'll get a perspective from both communities about this upcoming game Monday night, which should be a barn burner, Danny.
It'll be a dandy, I'm sure. T-Town come off of a big win on Tuesday night. They defeat Paris, who were 34-0 on the season, and at Paris on top of it. So
yeah,
what a win for them.
So we'll talk to Tyler about that. We'll talk to Coach Crain about his girls, too, moving on. there to the Elite Eight. So big show for you here today. By the way, we'll have that game for you Monday night at beginning at 6:45 on AreaSports.net and on FoxesFans.net. Danny's got a bunch of scores to run through this morning, and I'll get our first guest on.
All right, from the Black Diamond, Fairfield runs the tables. They defeat Carmi 66-28. Hamilton County over Johnson City 58-53. El Dorado defeats Edwards County 61-39. Goreville 72. Trico 36. Christopher 41. ZR 30. And Chester hit a shot at the buzzer to beat Cesar 42-40. From the Cahokia, Carlisle 50, Salem 41. Freeburg wins it outright 47-29. Marissa 56, Valmar 29, Steelville 68, New Athens 59. Redbud 61, Dupo 32. From the Little Illini last night, Red Hill 70, Flora 57. Midland Trail, Wayne City defeats Waltonville 62-32. Odin 76, Grayville 54. Sisney defeats Weber 41-25. Christ Our Rock 42, Sandoval 31. From the river to river last night, Pinckneyville and Nashville tie. Pinckneyville 66, Carterville 38, and Nashville 60, DuQuoin 34. So each one of those teams beat each other once, so that's the tie on that side. AJ got a nice win to finish third in the conference, 70-55. And over on the east side, Benton creates a three-way tie. Could have been a four-way tie for the East. Four-way tie in a six-team league. What's that tell you?
Pretty good league, yeah.
Benton 54, Murfreesboro 44. Murphy had the lead coming in. They could have had sole possession, but Benton ties it up. Benton, Murphy, and Massac all tie for the east side. Massac defeated West Frankfort 68-45, and probably one of the surprise scores last night. Heron had a chance to be in that four-way tie, but Harrisburg beats them 69-38, but I hear Heron had a key player missing.
Yeah, we're not sure which player it was yet, but that had to make a huge difference.
From the South 7 last night, Mount Vernon takes care of business. They defeat Cokia 68-50. Centralia beat Marion 45-28. Carbondale beat Altoff 76-45. In some non-conference stuff, Effingham St. Anthony defeated Casey Westfield 48-42. Woodlawn holds on to defeat Tetopolis 48-47. Woodlawn led 12-1 at the end of one.
And 24-7 at the half.
And I think at the end of three it was 40-28.
Yeah, T-Town made a big run at fourth quarter, didn't they?
Oakville gets a big win over Breeze Central 39-24. Washington, Indiana beats Mount Carmel 47-41. And Lovejoy beat Cairo 65-49. It just amazes me that Lovejoy has 44 students.
That's crazy.
In their high school.
That's crazy. And they're winning a lot of basketball games this year with 44 kids in the whole school. How many of them are boys and how many of them are playing?
I don't know, but that's what's out on the school website. 44 and a half students, actually.
44 and a half, okay.
I don't know how you get a half a student.
Yeah,
I do know, but...
Yeah, but they're like 2 miles from Madison, too, right?
2.2 miles.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, you mentioned in the South 7 conference scores, Mount Vernon Rams won on senior night last night against Cahokia 68-50. Rams improved to 22-5 on the season. That's right, and they still are atop the South 7 conference along with Carbondale, a chance to clinch at least a tie if they can win next week on the road at Marion. And let's bring in Coach Doug Creel of the Rams right now. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Hey, congratulations on the win last night. I'm just keeping it going here. It's been a great second half of the season here for the Rams, and always emotional, always kind of tough on senior night, especially for you having your own son as a senior. But you got it done last night, so big win.
Yeah, the good thing is, we had a lot to play for last night. Last home after season game, we're, like you mentioned, we're in the conference race, senior night, and a little bit of that may have worked against us. We were pretty jacked up and didn't shoot the ball real well. I think we tried to do a lot of things that maybe we weren't capable of doing. But it is a bittersweet from the standpoint. I've talked about this before. A lot of these guys I coached, and when I got out of coaching for a little bit, I coached Jackson, Simon, and Mason, and youth basketball. I had Amir in youth football as a 5th grader and 6th grader. So those guys are all probably tired of me. Bittersweet, you know, because I've had them as youth and I've had them the last 4 years, and especially, you know, your son, and you know, I'm excited for them at the same time. Just sad that, because I remember these guys when they came in as freshmen, and now here all of a sudden, you know, we played our last home regular season game, but you know, the positive is these guys got to play some as sophomores, and I think we won 17 games 2 years ago, and last year we won 18, and as you just mentioned, we've got 22, hoping to get several more on there, but you know, they've been part of 3 pretty good basketball teams here at Mount Vernon, so very proud of them. Excited for them, and hopefully we can keep this run going a little bit.
Well, Coach, your team seems to be blending in well right now. You've got a pretty solid rotation in and out, and your team's kind of a dangerous team. I've seen you play a couple times now, and have a lot of weapons. You got some shooters and ball handlers. Got some skilled kids, and Mount Vernon will be a pretty tough out.
Well, our conference is and our schedule's good, and it should be. I mean, that's just the way it is. But the tough thing is we can get you can get nipped by anybody. That's the tough thing about how the system's set up. You know, the NBA, they play best of 7, and usually they get the best team. And in a one-game shot, bad things can happen, injuries, missed free throws. But that's what makes it exciting. And you know, we've been talking down the stretch. Our keys are we got to be able to guard somebody, we got to rebound, and we got to share the basketball. And if we do those 3 things, we will be a tough out. And I don't want our guys, playing not to lose, feeling some pressure. I want us to relax and get after it and play to win. That doesn't mean we're going to do crazy stuff, but we're going to get after it, play to win, play with some confidence. And I think we've been doing that, and I think our guys are excited. You know, we got a chance to win the conference, or at least share the conference Friday night down in Marion, and that gives us something to play for. It won't be an easy game, but you know, we'll have to turn around there again if we want to win regional. We'll have to play down there again the very next week. So
yeah, and we'll get into that.
Test for us.
Yeah, we'll get into those regional seeds and stuff and pairings in a moment. But I want to go back again to last night. A couple of very special moments on senior night as Mason Hemby came into the game and buried one from the left corner pocket. I've got that picture up on the screen right now. And then Adam Ackley, he comes in, and that senior buries one from the right corner pocket. And, boy, the crowd went wild, and that was just so much fun for them and their family and the kids and the fans and everybody.
Yeah, and I think our other kids were trying to, you know, drive that seam and kick it out to them so they could get a basket, because those guys have worked hard and done a lot of things for our team behind the scenes, and you know, it takes a special person, you know, to practice hard every day and not get to play as much as you'd like, and Adam has done a great job, and Mason both have been very good teammates. Adam's always the first guy up off the bench cheering on other people, other kids' success, and that's a hard thing to do, but that's a great quality. And I'm very proud of those guys, how hard they've worked, and they brought a lot to our team. You know, people say, "Well, how is that?" Well, because every day in practice, you know, they're pushing our other kids and getting after. So it was special that they got on the floor. Those 5 seniors got to play about that last 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm happy for them to hit some shots.
Yeah, it was a good time. Well, the seeds came out this week in Class 3A as well as the pairings, and you know, that game that you won earlier this week on Tuesday against Effingham, I don't think people understand how big that win was at Chagnon, 69-63, because if you don't win that game against the Hearts, there's a chance you don't get that number 1 seed, but you did. And so now you're going to the regional at Marion, and I'm sure you're glad that it came out the way it did.
Yeah, we are. You know, I've talked about this before. I feel like and I don't want to get in a long discussion about the IHSA, but I feel like the old way was the best, when your body of work that you've done all season rewards you with a home game as in a regional.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be the higher seeds would host.
Right.
And with presetting the regional, and I just use our rival Centray, for example. They've had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a hair lash off us, and I mean they're very capable of beating us.
Oh yeah.
And they've been in the top 10. I mean, their reward for a great year is to go to play at Effingham against Effingham, who has had a great year.
Sure.
So, from that standpoint, because sooner or later that comes back and bites you and your team. We were fortunate. You're right. We were fortunate that we hung on, beat Effingham, got the 1 seed. But that doesn't mean that we're guaranteed that we're going to beat Heron, Waterloo, or we'll beat Mascouda, Marion.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure is nice that I don't have to play at Effingham against Effingham or play Centray up there in Carbondale. So we were fortunate, but I'd like to see it go back the other way. And you get rewarded for a great year. You get to host.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that would agree with your sentiments there, Doug. And again, the Rams will open their regional play on Tuesday, March 3rd at Marion. They'll play the winner of the Heron-Waterloo game, as Heron is the 8 seed, Waterloo's the 9 seed. Those two will play on that Monday night, March 2nd. Turn around, play the Rams on that Tuesday, March 3rd. And the other part of the bracket, as you said, will be Marion against Mascouda. Again, Marion coming in as the 4 seed and the host of that one regional, and Mascouda coming in as a 7. And then up in Effingham, some tough matchups up there for sure. You got second-seeded Carbondale against 6th-seeded Olney. That could go either way. Third-seeded Centralia against 5th-seeded Effingham, which could go either way. That's brutal. It is.
Yeah, because, I know Olney's playing better, but I'm going to tell you, Carbondale, Centralia, and Effingham are really, really good basketball teams.
Sure, yeah.
And they're all up there together. I mean, there's a fine hairline difference between us and those 3 teams. And we're fortunate, but that doesn't mean we don't have to take care of business.
Sure.
We can't be thinking that, hey, we got it made. That's not the deal. And we're going to try to take care of conference Friday night, and then we're going to turn our sights on trying to win that regional. We get a chance to host a sectional.
Mm-hmm.
It happens sometimes, I'd like to be playing in it. If that doesn't happen, we're going to put on a good sectional tournament for the teams that get there. Hopefully we'll be in it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Doug, appreciate your time this morning. Again, congratulations on the win last night. It also was nice to be able to honor the Lady Rams at halftime and the KC Junior Rams last night at halftime of your game, and it was awesome to see the crowd reaction.
Yeah, thank you for that. I know they appreciate it. And, Randy, I'm going to be 60 in June, and this is the first time we had a first last night in our game. Cahokia wouldn't come out and warm up until we measured the goals.
Huh. Well, I saw that going on, and I wondered who had requested the goal to be measured. Okay.
Well, I don't really know that. I don't really think that we would want to shoot on goals that one's higher and one's lower.
No.
Either. So, believe it or not, I am a little picky about that, and I measure those myself.
Okay.
Our coaches put those back up after the dance, and they're at 10 foot. So, but maybe since we didn't shoot well, we'll just blame it on that. Maybe both the goals were off.
A smidgen, huh? Yeah. Okay.
That's the first. I've never had it.
Yeah, that's right. I've never seen that before either. I thought that was interesting.
Measure the goals. I'm not quite sure what's happening with that, but
yeah, that was interesting. That was a first. Yeah. You got it. All right, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, hey, enjoy your weekend. All right, take care, and again, congratulations. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, I'm gonna get them babies outside.
Yeah, Milo and May, they need to go outside. It's a sunny day. All right.
Believe it.
Okay, we'll see you now. Thanks. Bye-bye. Doug Creel, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams, 22-5 on the season, and a big win for them last night on senior night. And, yeah, you got to be happy to be that 1 seed going to Marion.
I think you'd have to be ecstatic.
Because that's going to be brutal up there at Effingham, at that regional up there. It really is. And if you want to hear Coach
That's probably not as static.
Well, yeah, from Centralia. He will talk about it Monday night on the Coach's Show. That's Lee Bennett on the Coach's Show on 95.3 FM, the CHS Coach's Show with Ryan Roddy. You can catch that on X95.3. And we'll be back with more on the Sports Couch.
Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jaggers Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jaggers Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home. They will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jaggers Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon.
Munkin Nissan's end of the year special will have you adding to your Christmas list. Find your perfect mix of sporty fun with enough room for the family in the trendy Nissan Rogue. Drive off in confidence in a 2019 Rogue with $4,000 in NMAC cash plus 0% for 60 months. Get your 2019 Nissan Rogue savings at Munkin Nissan on Highway 161 in Centralia and MunkinNissan.com. Don't forget your chance to win $500 at the Munkin Half Court Shot at the Orphans Home Basketball Games.
Fast Eddie Veltman, the legendary Centralia criminal defense attorney, has joined Olson and Reeves, attorneys at law. With offices in Centralia and Mount Vernon, Olson and Reeves are personal injury and criminal defense lawyers, and we've got your back. If you've been hurt in an accident or you've been arrested for a DUI or other charge, call Olson and Reeves today at area code 618-533-1601 for a free case evaluation. Olson and Reeves, attorneys at law. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM, WILY, and of course streaming here live on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson along with Danny Anselment. Last night Black Diamond Conference play, senior night at the Mule Barn. Fairfield Mules take care of business against the Carmi Bulldogs, 66-28. A little tune-up before moving into the Class 2A regional next week, where that'll be played at Carmi, and Fairfield comes in as the number one seed in that regional. And let's talk it all over right now with the head coach of the Mules, Scott McElravy. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Welcome to the show, and again, congratulations on another win last night, taking care of business. The main thing is, did you get that done without getting anybody hurt? That's the main thing. Is everybody healthy?
We did. It was a great senior night. We started all 5 seniors. I have a couple seniors, Derek Vaughn and Isaac Sork, that don't play a lot, but help us a lot, in practice and that sort of thing. So it was really neat to get them some minutes, and they both scored. And
oh, awesome!
Yeah, it was good from start to finish.
That's awesome. We saw a similar thing last night at Mount Vernon too, where you have 2 players that are role players that don't play very much, don't get very many minutes. They came in, they were able to score last night too at Mount Vernon, and Coach Creel was just talking about that, and he was talking about how important those guys are, and it takes, it takes a rare personality, a rare kid to stick with the team and play that role and practice with you every day and play that defense and all that sort of thing that they got to do. And so it's good to have them, though, isn't it?
It is. And, there's younger kids playing in front of them and that sort of thing. And, it's tough. But these 2 guys have been great teammates all year. And, I think our guys were just as excited for them scoring and starting as they would be for themselves. So, really good night overall.
That is really cool. Well, you head into the regional next week at Carmi. You came in as the 2 seed instead of the 1 seed. We talked last week. We knew it could really go either way. It just depended upon how everybody was going to decide to vote. But as it turned out, Massac's the 1 seed, and you're the 2 seed. But I think you'd rather be going to Carmi than going to Vienna, right?
Yeah, no offense to Vienna. That's almost a 2-hour drive from Fairfield. So I think if we can get to the regional championship game, we're going to play just as many games at Carmi this year as we would at the Mule Barn. So our guys are familiar with it. We know it's going to be a lot tougher this year. Benton ended up beating Massac twice. Mm-hmm. So you could almost argue that, 1 and 2 are in together, or, Massac beat us. So it was kind of a flip-flop for the top 3 seeds, all good teams. And there are other good teams as well.
Well, and you talk about the Benton Rangers. They beat Murfreesboro last night, too, by 10 points, 54-44. So the Rangers seem to be peaking at the right time and playing some good basketball. And if you both take care of business early on in the regional, you could be meeting there in that final.
Yeah, they're good. They've got a good resume this year as well. They were down, I think, in that game last night. by a few points early on, kind of like what they were last Saturday against Massac, but they came storming back. Both those games were at their place, where they play really well. So I'm glad that, we at least have it a neutral floor. And, like I said, we got to get there first. We're not going to count anything yet.
A team coach is playing pretty good. Another team playing pretty good is the Harrisburg Bulldogs. They get a big victory last night. Seems like they've really stepped their game up since the Carmi tournament.
They have. I think since the start of the year, they're close to 500. And I was really surprised, maybe not by them winning last night, but the range of that score last
margin,
night was big. Man, I don't know if Heron had all their kids. If so, or either way, kudos to Harrisburg. I mean, that's a big win for them. They're used to playing, once again, tough competition in the river. So there's, and I don't discount Carmi on their floor. They always play better. And Frankfurt's a team that I think they're one of the better teams in the state with 8 or 9 wins. I mean, they've played a really good schedule and played a lot of teams close. They played us close the first time. So we'll watch and see who we get. It should be fun. I mean, the tournaments this year, postseason tournaments are just that much tougher because, they move people around, and it's going to be a lot of good basketball.
Yeah, winning a regional is going to really, really mean something this year, and we've said that on earlier shows throughout the year because of the fact that so many teams have dropped down from 3A to 2A, and the same way for the 1A schools. A lot of schools have dropped from 2A to 1A, so it's going to be more competitive for the Woodlawns of the world this year, too.
Oh, I agree. I mean, KG West still dropping down to 1A. They finally got beat, I think, last night.
Yeah, St. Anthony has dropped down to 1A, too.
Yeah,
right.
So nobody wants to see those two teams in it.
No.
Woodlawn's good. Goreville's good. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Central A&M team play, but I hear they're really good too. Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah, that's what I understand. So, that's amazing. But so you see the path before you, and this is kind of what your goal has been all year. I mean, you wanted to win the conference. You did that. You ran the table 10-0 in the conference again. You look for 20 wins as a goal. You've certainly well surpassed that now. And now it moves into postseason play. And, you made it to the sectional championship game last year. I know you'd like to get there again and maybe beyond. And this team has got the horses to be able to do that. You just got to take care of business, don't you?
It's neat to be in the mix. When you're talking about the Peenyvilles and the Nashvilles and the Massac Counties, Murphys, and all those, and to know that hey, we can beat those teams, but they can also beat us too. We're aware of that. Takes a little bit of luck, I think, too, when you get going in the postseason. But I really like where we're at right now, especially defensively. We've really tightened things up, I think, because we're going to need that. It's a night where you're not shooting very well. You've got to try to hold serve on the other end, maybe get some steals and layups or get to the foul line. So, the kids are really looking forward to it. I love these guys. They've been great all year. It's tough having senior night when you've got special kids, like we had last night.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you've had so many lopsided games this year where your seniors have not played really hardly at all in the fourth quarter of many of your games, that's a kind of a two-edged sword. You hate that because they don't get enough playing time perhaps and experience and that sort of thing. But on the other hand, they're not run down here at the end of the year either. They're not beat up. Their legs aren't gone. They got plenty left in the tank to be able to go out here now in postseason.
Yeah, we try to make sure, in practice that we push them harder, on those days. A typical walkthrough maybe the day before, we go a little harder than usual, knowing that. We've got a great trainer here in Sarah Turner we do ACO prevention and dynamic stretching every day, which is huge for the kids. One of the things, they don't like it. It's tough. But, yeah, we do try to – we're aware of that, and we've been trying to push them, maybe a little harder than what we normally would on some days that, we know that we might have an easier game the night before. And that's why we also tried to sprinkle in the Peenyville and Nashville games this year, knowing that, we needed those type of games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, taking nothing away from last year's success and last year's team at all, but they did not have an opportunity to play in Nashville or Pinckneyville last year, and whether or not that made a difference down the stretch, we'll never know. But certainly it has been an asset for you to play them this year because you know that you can play with them. You have an idea now what to expect if you do meet them again. And after you play them, then it's interesting to sit back and watch what happens when they play each other. And you noticed the other night when they played for the second time at Pinckneyville, Pinckneyville wins it on a tip-in at the end after Nashville had beaten them by 19 at their place. So, again, anything can happen on any given night, and I think all three of you are just, right there.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I saw the highlights. I wasn't able to attend the game. I planned on it but didn't make it. Dre Scott's really good. He made a play there at the end on a missed shot, and it didn't surprise me. Those teams they've been rivals since both schools started up. They're both really good. Defensively they're different. Pinckneyville gets up and guards you all over like we do. Nashville's more containment and really grinds it out on the offensive end. Two great coaches, programs. Would love to get there, but there's others in our way. I mean, Benton's really good.
Yeah, Benton is very good.
They do a great job themselves and getting their kids ready. Coach Weimiller does a great job. And, like I said, there's just so many teams that could knock each other off before, we get to those teams. There's going to be some really good teams that don't make it out of regional.
Oh, I agree. There's going to be some very good teams that don't make it out of the regionals this year. Absolutely. But we hope Fairfield Mules are one of them, and we wish you luck as you head into the season or postseason next week, Coach, and we'll be following you along the way as well. And, again, we appreciate your time this morning, and enjoy the weekend, okay?
Hey, you too, guys. Thank you.
You bet. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Scott McElravy, head coach of the Fairfield Mules, as they keep rolling along. A perfect 10-0 in the Black Diamond again this year, and they went undefeated in football and undefeated in basketball in Black Diamond.
That's a pretty strong feat right there.
Yeah, sure is, isn't it? But, Benton Rangers are really peaking at the right time. That could be a tough matchup. You just never know.
I wouldn't want to bet against them.
You just don't know. And,
and
like Doug was saying earlier, it's not best of 7. It's one game, winner take all. If you have a bad night shooting free throws or threes or whatever, things can happen.
A bad night from either one of those places can cost you right now.
Yeah, and as Coach Schmack just said, there's going to be some good teams that don't come out of the regional this year.
There's going to be some very disappointed teams.
Some very disappointed teams. You got that right. Yeah, no doubt about it. Some very, very disappointed teams. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to a very happy Coach Jeff Lonnon of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams. They're moving on to the Class 3A sectional. Next week, they got a date with Highland. They'll be played at Effingham on Monday night. We'll talk to him about that and their regional championship that they won at Olney. How exciting was that? All that coming up on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When there's no time to be sick, let SSM Health help you feel better faster. For just $25, you can consult an SSM Health provider online about most minor illnesses. Just answer a few questions, receive your treatment plan, and a prescription if needed. It's that easy. Virtual visits are available to everyone. No insurance is required. Start the healing from home at ssmhealth.com/virtual visit.
Mortgage rates have dropped. Hi, this is Megan Kenke, mortgage originator with People's National Bank. With the wide variety of loan products we have to offer, and with mortgage rates this low, now is the perfect time to buy a home or refinance your current home. Stop by and see me, Megan Kenke, to take advantage of these low rates before it is too late. People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC, equal housing lender, loan subject to credit approval.
According to FoxBusiness.com, automobile insurance providers estimate that on average, a person will experience 3 to 4 auto collisions in a lifetime. So the big question is, how do you know where to bring your vehicle after you've been in an accident? This is Chase Landers from Landers Towing and Collision Centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. It's easy for me to say that Landers is where you should always consider anytime you've suffered damage to your vehicle. And here's why. Not only do we offer limited lifetime warranty on all repairs and refinishes, but we also complete the repairs using the highest quality refinish products the market has to offer. Landers is also a direct repair facility for most insurance carriers, and in many cases provide a courtesy vehicle or easier access to a rental. We understand what it's like to be in a bind. If unfortunate circumstances fall upon you, we offer prompt RV collision repair services, towing, and heavy-duty towing and collision as well. That's why we feel comfortable saying we're the best. So come see the professionals in Mount Vernon and Salem, or feel free to look us up at landersauto.com. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here on Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM WILY, and of course streaming live here on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson in studio along with Danny Anselment, and in the girls Class 3A Regional on Thursday night at Olney, it was the Mount Vernon Lady Rams going up there on Olney's floor and knocking off the number 1 seeded Olney Lady Tigers by a score of 54-48 to advance on to the Class 3A sectional at Effingham this Monday night. And let's talk it over right now with a very excited, very happy Coach Jeff Lonnon of the Lady Rams. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, and I bet you're still wearing that smile on your face, aren't you?
Well, I am a little bit, yeah, for sure. But it's one of those deals where you got to kind of flip the page because you don't get a whole lot of time, and you're gonna have to turn around Monday now and play again against another great tough opponent. So we kind of allowed that yesterday, and today it's more focusing on the next challenge.
Getting back to work, yeah, because you got the Highland Lady Bulldogs. It's going to be a very tough opponent on Monday night at Effingham. And I think that's a 6 o'clock game you got, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
You got the early game up there in this sectional, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have really exceeded expectations by many people this year. I mean, you went up there on Olney's floor. You beat the number 1 seeded Lady Tigers. You weren't supposed to do that. And, of course, all season long, I think there's been some naysayers with some Lady Rams basketball. Some have said, they're not experienced enough. They're not big enough, not quick enough. And, they're out of their league and that sort of thing. And you've proved all those naysayers wrong with 18 wins. And here you are headed on the sectional. And that's got to make you feel real good because that's the first regional championship, I think, in 16 years at Mount Vernon.
Yeah, that's about right. That's what they tell me.
Yeah.
I wasn't here when the last one happened. That would have been Coach Rennie, I guess around, 03, 04.
Something like that? Yes,
Something like that. But, I got here right. I think, actually I got here 15 years ago, so I missed it by a year. And then I helped Sarah there for 5 years until she retired. And then, of course, we got to the title game. I was telling somebody the other day, we actually got to the title game either in my first year or second year. I don't remember. I think it was my second year.
Okay.
I'm sure of it. But anyway, we got to the title game and got beat by about 6 points or so. It was a pretty tight game. I think it was a Centralia team that beat us. But we got there in the second year, and, of course, your mindset at that point is okay, let's go forward from here. And we got to the game, and so this would have been about 10 or 11 right in there, and it had been at that point about 8 years, and you're thinking, okay, we got here to a regional championship, and the next progression, if we just we'll build off of this, and kids will catch on, and they'll know what it's like, and we'll get us one, in the next year or 2, 3, and that just never happened, and due to a ton of different factors, but that never happened, and it was a lesson, for anybody that gets into this crazy profession. It was just kind of a lesson that you can't take. It's a very inexact science. And you just can't count on anything. You just cannot. And I take that all the way to what happened, this week is, like you kind of introed this by, all the things that, people probably say about us, but you can't take anything for granted.
No.
And it worked the other way for us this time. And it's a crazy game. It's an absolutely just nuts game that we play here, and but we're happy to have it work out for us this time.
One thing you cannot measure, Coach, is heart and desire. You cannot measure that.
No, you can't, and we, if there's anything that this group has, it's I say this all the time, is energy, and effort. This group is as relentless of a group I've ever seen on just energy and effort, and we struggle sometimes, X and O wise a little bit. we make mistakes and we get out of whack, with some of our rules that we have in our system, and our spacing may get off, and we may go set a silly screen that we have no idea why we're setting it, because we don't do that in practice, and we line up wrong at times, and do little things that just make us coaches make ourselves pull our hair out. But we never ever with this group this year have questioned or even thought about whether they were going to bring it in terms of the effort and the attitude and the energy. And that's really, to be quite honest with you, that's what won us this regional title.
Mm-hmm.
We were just absolutely relentless from those three standpoints. And Olney's a great basketball team, okay? They put 5 kids on the floor that, any one of them can burn you at any given time. And then when you throw in like a blank in there with them,
Mm-hmm.
who can light you up for 30 real fast or even more, just by being on the floor. The only way that you can even stand a prayer to beat a team like that, and then you throw in the home floor thing in Olney. I mean,
Yeah.
my gosh, that's a hugely traditional school, their girls basketball program. The only way you can do that is you've just got to be absolutely 100% dog out relentless with your effort and energy. And don't have to be perfect with your X's and O's. You don't have to be perfect shooting the ball. But boy, you just got to say, you know what, we're going to play harder, we're going to play faster, and we're going to play with more energy. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got a little bit of a chance.
Yeah.
And that's how this happened. It just happened that way. We just outworked them, I think. And it's nothing to do with talent on in terms of either team. We have talented kids. They have super talented kids. But we just went 4 hard quarters and never for a second had a lull in the energy area. And I think that's how it happened.
I'm going to guess you got a lot of the 50-50 balls last night, stuff like that.
A ton, and we got a ton of rebounds.
Yeah.
We got a ton of rebounds. I think we out-rebounded them by it was double digits. I saw the stat. It was
Mm-hmm.
10 to 12 rebounds more.
Wow.
And then there's another just Coach Reed, at McLeansboro used to say, rebounding's about the old want to. You can drill it, you can emphasize it, but kids will rebound if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And because it really is all about that extra little burst of effort after the ball's in the air.
Oh, yeah.
And so many teams, Randy, you've been covering sports for a long time, so many teams, and they do it, I think, unconsciously a lot of times. When that ball leaves a shooter's hand, there's about a 1.5 period there where you got to decide whether I'm going to go get that thing, or I'm just going to take this 2.5 here and maybe 50% it, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe just rest.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
This is a hard game.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't put that little extra burst in there to get position, and it can be an entire that can be the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
So we did not take any of those little time periods off. We went and got position. We chased the ball. We treated it like a piece of gold, and that was also something I think that really benefited.
Yeah. Well, last night at halftime of the Rams-Cahokia game, we were able to honor you and your girls on the floor at halftime. And it had to be a good feeling for all of you to come out there with that championship plaque and be honored in front of that big senior night crowd last night. I'm glad we were able to pull that one off. So,
I appreciate that, and you were a little part of that too, and I appreciate that with being on the mic. And that was those times obviously are special for your kids and your coaches and your fans, and it was an honor to be a part of that for sure. And I'm glad that Coach Creel made that happen. It was in front of a nice big boys' home crowd, so some of the community who might not have heard or seen or whatever were there to see the girls and give them a nice ovation.
Yep.
It was really nice.
all right, so we're flipping the page. You got the Highland Bulldogs this Monday night at the Class 3A sectional at Effingham. Tell us what concerns you most about those Highland Bulldogs.
Oh, well, they're a little different animal than Olney is. They are a little more post-oriented, whereas Olney's a more of a guard-oriented, three-point shooting-oriented team. Highland will bring it inside a little bit more. They've got the Laporta girl, who seems like she's been there for about 15 years. She's a 6-footer, and she's a rebounding terror, and does some things very well for her size to control the paint. And that'll present a little bit different puzzle for us because we like to rack the ball. We like to get it to the rim and attack the front of the rim as much as possible. That's part of what we're trying to do. And then if we can't get it there, we like to kick for threes. And they're guard defenders. Their guards are very good at closing out. They all can get in a stance. They can all guard. They all play with high active hands, which is important. They know what they're doing, and it'll be a great challenge for us. But again, from an X and O standpoint, I could talk forever. For us to have a chance to compete with a Highland team, we have to bring the exact same effort and energy that we did against Olney. And that's all we can do. That's our game is just get after it. And if we get after it, we'll live with the results.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, we appreciate your time on the Sports Couch this morning, and congratulations on that regional championship, the first one in Mount Vernon for Lady Rams in 16 years. Quite an accomplishment, and best of luck Monday night against Highland. All right?
Yes, sir. We'll do our best. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Take care and have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Jeff Lonnon, head coach of the Lady Rams, 18 wins on the season, Danny. And, again, they got a tall order now facing a very good Highland team. But, like you were talking there's some things you can't measure, and that's that heart, that grit, that hustle. And sounds like that's how they won that game at Olney.
Those are uncharacteristic terms that you can't measure in the hearts of kids.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Casey Junior High Rams. They are the Class L state champions. Coach Travis Pinkston joins us next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Here's Jeff Miller from Holes Hours.
Employee pricing for everyone. You don't have to work there. You can just come in and get it. Listen to this. New 19 Dodge Journey, third row seat, $16,995. That's brand new. Get in here.
Tax, title, license, and doc not included. Rebates and discounts have been applied. See us on Facebook or go to holeshours.com. Save on all new Chrysler inventory during the Black Friday sales event at Holes Hour Auto and Motorsports, Route 127 North in Nashville.
Get your degree from Kaskaskia College, and your earning potential increases by $10,000 per year on average compared to those with a high school diploma. KC has plenty of high-demand career and college transfer programs, so you're sure to find one that's right for you. And dollar for dollar, KC is the most affordable education around. So, why are you waiting? Call Kaskaskia College, 545-3040, and get started. Spend less, learn more, go farther. Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
Ooh, ouch.
Car accidents happen every day. When the unexpected does happen to you, call the professionals at Cooter Auto Body. Brent and Greg Cooter are ASE, PPG, and GM certified, and they can offer free estimates. From minor dents to fender benders to major collisions, Cooter Auto Body is the one to call when the unexpected happens to you. Cooter Auto Body is always ready to get you back on the road at 403 North Locust in Centralia. Call Cooter Auto Body today at 532-1520.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM WILY, and of course video streaming here live at AreaSports.net. Well, the Casey Junior High Rams, they had not been in a Class L state championship game for 25 years. Last time they were in the championship game, Danny, was back in 1995, back when Kent Williams and those guys came through, okay? So 25 years ago since they'd been in the game. Well, they weren't just in it. They won it. They are the Class L state champions. And joining us on the phone right now is the coach of the KC Junior Rams from Mount Vernon. That is Travis Pinkston. Good morning, Travis. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are we doing this morning?
I'm doing great, and I can tell you're still smiling after that huge win on Thursday night. Man, oh man, that had to be a lot of fun for you, and it's still fun.
Yeah, it's obviously very special. I don't even know. I've talked to several people, obviously, since Thursday night. I don't know that I've fully processed everything that's transpired. It's almost like a miracle come true or a dream come true for me, for the kids, and our community. It's been very special.
Yeah, 24-3 on the season. What an incredible year that you've had. And you win that championship game down there at Rend Lake College against Bell Valley School, which is a school out of the Belleville area. And what impresses me is how many points you put up in a championship game, 76 points. I mean, you win that game 76-61. That's a lot of points for an 8th grade boys basketball team in a championship game like that.
Yeah, we have had some high-scoring games. I mean, we get up and down the floor extremely well. Very fast kids. I've coached high school basketball, for 6 years prior, and I don't know that I've ever coached any kids faster. They are extremely fast. They're extremely talented, and yeah, it's super special to watch kids that are so athletic and coachable. For sure. Well,
you mentioned the key word there, coachable. And, you can have all the talent in the world, but, man, if a kid is not coachable, if he doesn't listen, if he doesn't take what you're trying to put in the system and take it seriously and implement it, then you can't really do anything, can you?
No, you can't. And it was a funny story. Kids ride around with me or we talk basketball and different stuff. And a couple of them before the championship game, we were sitting there the day before after practice, and they were telling me stories a couple years ago of how they hated me, they didn't like me, how the system was going to be different, how they didn't like, I guess, my work ethic as far as pushing them probably farther than they've ever been pushed before. And, buying into a system, kids are so passionate. It's such an overwhelming feeling as a coach to see you kids grow from where we were a couple years ago to now and see how much they exerted effort. It isn't every day that, a coach gets to see kids, you tell them, hey, hard work pays off. And, and sometimes that equation doesn't always work out to where kids believe it. And, it's such a great feeling to know that, they earned every bit of what they got. And, they can take that with them for years to come, just, because hard work does pay off, and they have a trophy to prove it.
Yeah, they have trophies. They have those medallions around their neck, as we see the pictures on the screen. And this experience will be something that they will never forget the rest of their life. And I think we'll see a lot of those become Mount Vernon Rams, hopefully. And hopefully this is a building block that pays dividends down the road, too.
Absolutely. They've grown as athletes. They probably grew even better as people herself. Like I said, going into such a mass environment as Mount Vernon High School, there's even more kids. There's more county schools that, flood in there. And, those kids are going to come in there and they're coachable and they understand hard work. And I think that's really going to pay off for them and the high school program.
Yeah. Well, of course, you got that beautiful new gymnasium this year at KC Junior High. That's been a long time coming, and it's very first year in that gym, and then here you go all the way and win the state title. I mean, my gosh, if that's all it took to win a state title, we could have built that gym a long time ago, man.
Hey, that's what we were all saying when we won the regional championship. Heck, if that's what it took, we've done it a long time ago.
Right.
And that's what I was telling people about my newly acquired haircut that I received. And I told them, I said, I'm not super thrilled about it, but at the same time, I don't know a coach that wouldn't trade a haircut for a state title any day.
Yeah, you bet the kids that if they won the state title, you were going to shave your head, right? And you followed through on that bet or that challenge.
It was I kind of forgot about the bet. It happened so early in the year, and they reminded me after the regional championship game.
I'm sure they did.
And obviously, that bet became a little more realistic at that point.
But
hey, we owned up to it. We did it in the school where the kids had the opportunity to do it themselves, and I think it was pretty special for them.
Yeah. Well, winning the regional, there hadn't been a regional one at KC Junior High in 11 years. So just winning the regional was a major accomplishment this year. And man, I mean, just you guys took care of business.
Yeah, we came in with a good work ethic, and but you get a reminder every day of those banners hanging in your gym, and you kind of look around. And we did spend a lot of time. I thought it was an important thing that whenever you have talent, you need to know what could happen. And we spent several days on and off throughout the season looking at banners, talking about stitching their prominent spot in history and something they can look forward to when they come in there. They may have grandchildren playing in there someday, and where they can go in there and have that self-pride and of the accomplishments that they've had. And it's very special. And like I said, I didn't know about all that stuff if those banners wouldn't have been hanging in there. And very, very special for the kids and the community and the school. I've never seen so much excitement. Hopefully that's something that can lead to the future and good things to come.
Speaking of excitement, it was pretty exciting last night at Shagdown Gymnasium at halftime of the Rams-Cahokia game, as we were able to bring you and a team out there on the floor to be recognized at halftime in front of that huge, raucous crowd. And that had to be thrilling for you and the boys.
It was. They want to know how many more times they can keep showing up at places and getting an applause. They think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And, obviously they look up to those kids in there. It's always when you're smaller, and they look at them as mentors, and to be on their floor, getting recognition at a high school game, that's obviously an overwhelming experience for them, and it's very special. We're very thankful that you guys allowed us to come out there. But yes, it was a very special evening. We thanks a lot.
Well, we're glad that we could do it. Hey, let's talk about your path there in the state tournament, because man, you beat some good teams. First round of the state tournament, you beat a good Mount Carmel team, 46-34, and then you took on the big rivals from Centralia in the semifinals there at state, beating them 64-54 before you move into that championship game. So, I mean, every game was a big test for you, wasn't it?
It was, and going back to that, I'd like to know when the last time that a rival like Mount Vernon and Centralia has ever met in a late postseason game like that. That's so, in a Final Four game. I don't know if that's ever happened. That was something pretty special.
Sure.
Itself. But it kind of fell a little different. All year long. I don't know that we flying under the radar would be the correct word, but everyone was talking about Heron, and they came to our place, and our Harris kid was out, and they beat us by 16 or so. And everyone was talking about them in Massac County. I think, that may have helped us, light a fire under us a little bit. We worked pretty hard there at the end of the year and went down to Massac County and beat them on their home floor. And that was a high-scoring game, too, 76-73. We, like I said, it was kind of a mind-boggling thing going into state there. I went and watched the whole day, and then Heron drops the first game, and Massac loses to Centralia right after our game, and it kind of had your head spinning a little bit because everybody has been talking about those teams, and that just goes to show you, if you don't have your best stuff every day or that desire to win, anything can happen.
Yeah, well, and that Collinsville team was a good team too, and they got knocked off by that Bell Valley school in the semis, which put you against Bell Valley in the championship, but that Collinsville team was loaded too.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot more, I guess we just don't get to hear about some of those other teams. We only get to hear people a little more local.
Right.
But it was very surprising, which, it is kind of expected. Anyone going to state should be some of the best teams in the surrounding areas. And it sure led up to the hype, and there was a ton of talent there. I mean, very thankful to come out ahead and win that championship for, 25 years. That's mind-boggling that it takes that long. I mean, it's something that really shocked me, but we're very, very happy to be able to bring that home.
Sure. Well, we've got that team picture up on the screen right now of you with that, not only the trophy, but with the banner, the big cardboard banner that they gave you during the trophy presentation at Red Lake College. And I'm sure you're going to have a special place for all that there at KC Junior High.
We hope so. I mean, I know we have a new gym. We'd like to maybe have a new trophy area where we can start building new memories in the new gym and go from there. I know we've kind of ran out of space from years past, but hopefully with any luck we can get some improvements over there, maybe add a trophy case, and hopefully see if we can put some more in there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Travis, again, congratulations on a spectacular season, capping it off with a Class L state title, and you go 24-3 and some great memories for these kids that'll last a lifetime. And again, we look forward to seeing what many of them do as they move on into high school as well.
Me too. I really appreciate your support this year and having us on, and look forward to good things to come.
Yeah, it's been fun. All right. Well, thanks so much. Have a great weekend, all right?
Hey, you too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. Travis Pinkston, head coach of the KC Junior Rams. Boy, what a story there, Danny. That's really special, isn't it?
Well, you know, Randy, you just never know sometimes. Like you said, there were some awful good teams got beat out on the way. That's why they play these games, and they're not drew up on paper.
Right. And, you and I have done enough games at the junior high state tournament down in the years, back when they would still allow us to video stream games down there. And we did it for, 10 years or something?
Yeah.
Before anybody else even knew what it was. And, we saw some amazing games down there and some amazing upsets. I mean, teams that would come in, maybe, 25-0 or whatever and get knocked off. And, you never know what's going to happen in a situation like that. And it's a great atmosphere and that sort of thing. But that was a loaded field this year in Class L. It really was. I think anybody could have come through that bracket this year and won it. And fortunately for Mount Vernon, it was the KC Junior Rams.
There's got to be some luck along the way.
Yeah.
I always said I'd rather be lucky as good.
Well, and again, that you get back to that grit, that determination, that hustle. You go get those 50-50 balls. You want those rebounds. You go get those rebounds. All that sort of thing. Certainly plays into it.
Sometimes it's just the small things on that fine line of winning and losing.
Yeah, you got to want it more than your opponent wants it. Yeah. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Hamilton County Foxes win last night on the road in Black Diamond Conference play. They won at Johnson City last night. We'll talk to Coach Doug Miller coming up. And also we'll have Coach Matt Crain of the Carterville Lady Lions on the show with us. And video producer Tyler Repking of T-Town will make his Sports Couch debut as well. All that coming up. Stay tuned. Back with more in a moment.
Munkin Nissan's End of the Year special will have you adding to your Christmas list. Find your perfect mix of sporty fun with enough room for the family in the trendy Nissan Rogue. Drive off in confidence in a 2019 Rogue with $4,000 in NMAC cash plus 0% for 60 months. Get your 2019 Nissan Rogue savings at Munkin Nissan on Highway 161 in Centralia and MunkinNissan.com. Don't forget your chance to win $500 at the Munkin Half-Court Shot at the Orphans Home Basketball Games.
I grew up with my dad's voice saying, "Come on, walk it off." Well, I hurt my knee last fall, and the x-ray looked okay, so I ignored the pain. But weeks later, it still hurt, and I couldn't play ball with my son, and that really hurt. My doctor recommended a visit to the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois for an MRI, and they found the problem and how to get well. Come on, son, let's play ball.
Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois has the technology and specialists you can depend on. Call 242-3778 or visit orthocenter-si.com.
Experience the difference of a Spartan mower. Spartan not only looks amazing on and off the lawn, it's innovative with optional features like GT Track for precision traction, balance, and control, radial front tires, and an all-new 360 floating seat system for an incredibly comfortable ride. Take command of your yard. Take command of your time. Join the family of one of the fastest growing mower companies in the world.
Get your Spartan mower today only at A&B Outdoor Equipment in Centralia.
Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on Super Hits AM 1210 and 98.7 FM, WILY, and of course, video streaming here live at AreaSports.net. It's also audio streaming at WILY1210.com, so you got multiple ways to access the show this morning. Well, last night in Black Diamond Conference action, the Hamilton County Foxes, they went down on the road last night to Johnson City. Got behind early, but came back and won that game as they win at 58-53. Let's talk it over right now with head coach of the Foxes, Doug Miller. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Good to have you on the show. Congratulations on the win last night. Wasn't easy, was it?
Never easy. Never easy. We dug a hole 16-2, and and I put Danny and Billy's kamikazes in, and they came back.
Coach, the last couple of games seemed like the Foxes have got off to a bad start, but your team never quit. Last Saturday night, they got back into it, and they had a chance at the end. Last night, like you said, it was 16-2. It was 22-9. Things were not going well, and sometimes it just takes some energy and effort and a few steals, and the next thing you know, you're pecking away. I can remember saying, well, the Foxes got it to one of their goals. They got it down to 10. Now they've got to get it down under. You got it down, had it down to a four-point game, and had the ball, missed a shot, and then they went on a little 6-0 run, and I thought, man, is that the run the Foxes had in them? But you had one more left.
Well, we talked in timeout. The first 2 timeouts I called, we talked about how just one possession at a time, try to score and try to hold. Try to score and try to hold. And I said last Saturday night we were down 24 and kept that lead down to 4 or 5 at Waltonville, and we came up a little short. I said, guys, just one possession at a time, get a stop, get a score, and see what happens. We talking about you play hard, you won't ever embarrass yourself. You play hard.
That's right. If you play hard, hustle, 50-50 balls, rebound, those kind of things, a lot of times wind up being the difference in winning and losing.
Absolutely.
You have to be impressed with some of your young kids, Doug. Last night you have to be excited about some of the things that you saw. Leighton Karcher, you instilled him in the ball game, and he hit some big shots for you.
Well, our theme for the whole year has been if you produce, you're going to play. And when you have a chance and you produce, you're going to play more.
Right.
And if you stink, you're not going to play very much. Right. And we've played these sophomores ever since December the 1st, our first game. And we've thrown them in. They've been scared to death sometimes. But like Leighton Karcher, Craven Leakey, they've both been in so many different varsity games this year that they looked pretty confident last night.
Claven Leakey come in there, and I thought him and Brandon Peters, with that pressure they put on out there on the front, Peters has kind of stepped his game up here the last part of the season, and it's still all back to the same old principle. Hard work and effort will take you a long way.
And Brandon Peters is a role model for young kids to watch him play. He plays hard every possession. He never talks back to the coaches. He listens to us very intently. And he was like 4'10" as a freshman.
Yeah, right.
And I saw a picture of him this week, and he's a little bitty guy, and he's worked his way into starting varsity as a senior.
Well, that says a lot about his determination and grit. There's a kid that could have got kind of weeded out of the system, but he just kept fighting and struggling. He wanted to be part of it, and now he's getting rewarded for it. And you got to be happy for kids like that.
Oh, love kids like that. And he could have very easily got mad and quit because he wasn't starting. He wasn't playing. He didn't play any varsity as a junior. Sophomore, he didn't start JV. And a lot of guys just get discouraged and quit. He just kept on working hard. I love kids like that.
Working harder and harder. Your Foxes finished the regular season 16-17, 5-5 in the Black Diamond. That's pretty good strides from a year ago.
Well, we tripled our wins from last year. Our goal was to win a trophy at El Dorado, win a game at Benton tournament, and be 500. But we got 2 out of 3. But I'm real excited about our effort, direction, how these kids have played this year.
Well, Coach, and not to be amiss, but Yins have had some struggles, some injuries, some other things happen throughout the season that could have really become a deterrent to your kids, but you've been able to weather the storms.
We've had 2 concussions. We've had ankle injury, a back injury, some unfortunate team violations on our team. But these kids have just, no matter what storms come their way, we have good practices every day. I mean, guys are sitting in there with ice and back trouble and knee trouble, and the rest of them just pick it up, and I'm proud of my kids for that.
Well, Coach, you head over to regional play on Tuesday night. You'll take on the Benton Rangers, a team that you've done battle with a couple times this season, and be interesting to see how things shake out over there on Tuesday night.
Well, they're playing their best basketball of the year right now. They beat Massac, they beat Murfreesboro. The addition of Reese Johnson, they were already a really good team. And you add Reese Johnson from Neoga, and that just filled their void as a point guard. And they're really a great basketball team.
Yeah, that regional over there, you got the Fairfield Mules, Benton Rangers, yourself. Harrisburg Bulldogs are playing much better. You got an El Dorado Eagle team in there, and Carmi is always tough at home. So, there's not going to be any easy games over there, but that's what the postseason is supposed to be. The cream's supposed to rise to the top, and everybody's going to throw the ball up and start with the same record over there this week.
And we after we got done, bragging on our kids last night, we said, hey, listen, we're playing the 3 seed in the regional, and now it's postseason. And now if you win, it's like Christmas. I go, so we need to come. We're in practice right now. We're getting after it right now as we speak, and you practice hard so you have them kind of moments like Christmas. Give us a chance to win at the end. That's what we're preaching to them.
Well, all right, Coach. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your time here all season. We'll let you get back in there to practice and see if you can get them fine-tuned and steal one from the Benton Rangers on Tuesday night.
Thanks for all you guys do for Illinois basketball.
All righty. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks.
See you now. Bye-bye. Doug Miller, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes. Yeah, a tall order with the Benton Rangers in the regional next week. But, again, hey, you don't play the game on paper, Danny.
All it takes is a team to be off just a little bit, and somebody can surprise somebody. And the Foxes usually play Benton pretty tough, but Benton's playing some great basketball right now.
Well, at the beginning of the year, and against Benton in that Goreville Invitational at the beginning of the year, everything went in overtime, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just never know. We're going to visit with Matt Crain, the head coach of the Carterville Lady Lions, in a moment. But speaking of girls high school basketball, Danny, you've got some scores to share with us as we lead into our interview with Matt.
Yeah, from the 1A sectional this week, the Oakville Rockets defeated the Goreville Lady Blackcats, and there's a prime example of postseason play right there. Those two teams were pretty well matched. Goreville won every facet of the ball game except the scoreboard. They shoot 22% for the game. They got 15 more shots than Oakville did, and they just couldn't put the ball in the hole, and the Oakville Lady Rockets were able to get enough points that they're going to advance, and they'll move up to Farina South Central on Monday night. At Christ Our Rock, Father McGivney, 44, Jacksonville Route, 40. Up at Casey Westfield, Hume Shiloh, they defeat Altamont, 52-43, and it'll be Oakville and Hume Shiloh up there at Farina South Central. In 2A, the Carterville Lions, they continue to roll along. They beat a good Nashville team, 54-42, and their opponent will be the T-Town Wooden Shoes as they defeat an undefeated Paris team. Paris was 34-0 on the season. Here's another prime example. Paris, I don't really know what happened in that game, but Teotopolis jumped them from the get-go, and Paris played from behind, and my guess is they hadn't been behind many times this season.
They probably hadn't been, being 34-0. It was the third time they'd played each other this year. I do know that. Paris had got them the first two times. I think that T-Town guarded them a little bit different in that third time, and we're going to find out from Tyler Repking, video producer from the T-Town Effingham area here in just a little bit. He's going to join us on the show. But, yeah, they got them.
So we've got a great game that we'll be down there covering Monday night. It's going to be the Carterville Lady Lions. They've got a young lady that's going to go to SIU Carbondale and continue her career. So he's got some weapons, but T-Town also will have some weapons. It'll be a great ball game.
That's going to be a knockdown drag-out on Monday night at McLeansboro, and we will be there to bring it to you live on both our websites, AreaSports.net and FoxesFans.net, with live video streaming. Let's bring in the head coach of the Carterville Lady Lions right now. That's Matt Crain. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us. And, boy, kudos to you and the girls. What a season you have had so far, and here you are in the Elite Eight, and it's got to feel great.
It feels really great. And, we set goals early in the year, knowing we might have a shot at this. So it's good that they've been able to play with the bullseye on their back all year and continue to win and continue to to achieve the things that they set out to do.
Well, you know, you've played a tough schedule during the year, too. I mean, you're not playing a bunch of cupcakes. I mean, you're in a good league there, the River, but then you challenge yourself with some tournaments that you're in, too. So you have played a tough schedule, and I think that's paid dividends for you, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been huge. We had to do it. You know, when we first got here, you know, Nashville was one of the premier programs. They still are. I mean, you know, first and second in our conference, played for the sectional title the other night, so that speaks to that. And then, you know, we played them, and then we picked up T-Town and went up there, and they came here one year, and then we went and got in the Salem tournament to play Highland and T-Town and some of those 3A schools because we had made that jump up. So, you know, we played East St. Louis, and these girls have, and a real good Highland team when they were freshmen in modern day. And if you want to beat them, or you know, have a chance to beat them, you've got to go play and learn how to do it. And we took some lumps early. You know, they beat us pretty good just by holding the line and making sure that, you know, you had to play to their level. And we've been chipping away and trying to get to that level. And fortunately, we're here now. And you know, but I don't know how many times in a row T-Town and Lori's been up there, but I know they got third, I think, last year, second the year before. I think they won it 3 years ago. I mean, when it comes this time of year, and I was not shocked that we are seeing T-Town over Paris just because of the time of the year it is, how good the program is. You know, Paris, I heard you say, I've been watching film, I think you're correct. I think T-Town got on them, and then Paris, you know, flinched a little bit and got rushed a little bit because they're a very good basketball team. But that's what T-Town does to you. And, you know, we've been in that situation before, and we just got to make sure that we don't flinch and just keep playing the game for the whole time and see where it comes out.
Right. Well, I think T-Town jumped on Paris 14-4, I think, early on, and just never looked back. I mean, they really put them away. So.
Well, you know, Coach, I told Randy earlier, we were talking about it, and I said, you know, T-Town is a program that knows how to win. They've been there. They've done this. They've seen about everything that can happen. They've experienced it, and they just know how to win when it comes this time of season. And that's a factor that really gets overlooked sometimes, is just knowing what it takes to get the job done at this time of year. And the only way you learn that is to experience it, and they have experienced it a lot.
They've experienced it a lot, and it is learned, and it is, you know, once you get to that level, you know, it's like, oh, okay, because when I would go up and watch the state tournaments the last few years, the thing that those teams up there did differently than us, in my opinion, was they never had a letdown mentally during the game.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm talking about, you know, they held their line, they held their ground mentally at the whole game, and they, you know, when we would go play them in the regular season, they brought that same mentality to the regular season. And then, you know, it's just when you don't let your mental toughness drop and you just stay after it, that's when you've got a chance to do some special things, and that's what I'm proud of my girls for this year. We've had the bullseye on our back. We've had everybody trying to come get us, and you know they did a good job of holding their ground mentally this year, and just, you know, you got to play us for 32 minutes, and if you beat us playing your best for 32 minutes and we play our best, we'll pat you on the back and go on. But so far, you know, we've been able to withstand and keep it going longer than the other team.
Well, you know, we talk about you having to figure out a way to stop T-Town and slow them down Monday night. The shoe's on the other foot. They've got to be able to stop you as well. And you've got a very talented team, and you got one player in particular who, you know, she's going to go on and play Division I basketball. And to be able to coach a player of that magnitude and that talent, that's got to be really fun and really a special moment for you.
Oh, it is special, especially since she's been coming to my house since she was in 6th grade.
Wow.
Her and Abby are really good friends, and you know, just, you know, they played summer teams together, and so they were always she was always traveling with us. I mean, it's just, she's just a great kid. She's been a workhorse ever since she got here. She's averaged about a double-double since her freshman year. You know, she's inside and out. She's big. She's strong. Her best part of her game is that she's very unselfish. She loves her teammates. She did eclipse the girls' all-time leading scorer here the other night. But you know, if she'd have wanted to, she could have there was times I was like, you've got to shoot the ball a little bit more. I mean, I appreciate it, and so do your teammates, but you've got to pick it up here a little bit on the scoring end to make us complete. And she could have had. That's one thing she never chased, was that scoring record, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm just very proud of her. She did it the right way. We were fortunate the last couple of years. We've been up big in the fourth quarters, and she hasn't played a lot. It's never been, there's never been any pressure to go get the numbers. She just lets the numbers come as they come throughout the game. And the most important one to her and the others is just the winning number. Just as long as we get that W. So
sure.
That's pretty special.
Coach, I guess a prime example of that is I've not got an opportunity to see your team play but a couple times this season, but you were playing Carmi down there in the regional game the other night, and Carmi was hitting some big shots. Yins were missing some shots, and you took a timeout. And I just watched, and you went to the young lady, and I could see you challenged her, told her, hey, it's your time to strap this team on your back, and let's get to where we need to be. And the next 4 or 5 possessions, she just kind of took the game over and got your team a little bit of breathing room, and then it was just click, click, click. It seemed like once she got Yins over the hump, Yins was able to stretch it out and pull away from a very gritty Carmi team over there the other night.
No, hats off to Carmi. They played really gritty, and that's what people around town like, what's going on? I mean, I said, you ever had a bad day? I mean, you just they're number one, they're kids. Number two, they're humans, and she just had just one of those days. Just wasn't great. Nothing bad happened. We all have them. Days you don't want to get up, go to work. Days you just don't have it. And, I wasn't yelling at her, or just if you need something, I was just talking to her. Like,
you just challenged her, said, hey, this is what leaders do. I don't know what the conversation was, but I can imagine you said, hey, this is who your team's built around. It's time for you to step this up and take us to the level that we want to be at. And, sometimes you have to challenge kids a little bit. And you had a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good shots. And, it, like you said, it just wasn't one of those nights. But you got to figure out a way to get around that, and your team did.
Yeah, I mean, we won some games where we didn't have our best shot that day, and that's a mark of a really good team. And again, I was just telling her she needs something, whatever. But I was saying, we need you to get going. This is do or die time. I mean, when and if you lose, it's over. And like I said, wasn't any anger involved. Just a step talk and just. Hey, we need you, like you said, and she came in and stepped it up, and she can clean a lot of things up, and she makes Coach look good sometimes. A lot of times.
Right.
So, and those are special players, and the whole senior bunch is that way, and they just having my own daughter on there, and they've been pushed, and tougher than everybody. People are like, gosh, you're hard on them sometimes. And well, I am, because this is hard to do. And but now it's coming to fruition, and I'm very proud of them, and just it's been an honor to coach all of them, and just the maturity that they've had, because they've had to come in and score since they were freshmen. Megan did over at Carbondale, and Abby came off the bench for us and would hit big shots in her freshman year, and Janiyah started, and then when they got here as sophomores, I mean, they had really good teammates in front of them, but they had to carry the scoring load.
Sure.
And everybody's been trying to deal with them for 3 years, and they've just fought it off and had outstanding careers, and they're outstanding ladies.
Well, your Carterville Lady Lions are in the Elite Eight against Teutopolis this coming Monday night. Again, it's a 7 o'clock game there at McLeansboro, and we'll be there to bring it for fans who can't make it to the game with live video streaming. Overall record now for your Lady Lions on the season, Coach?
30-2.
30-2. Okay, and your 2 losses were to who?
We lost to Highland early at the Salem tournament. That's one game we didn't meet them mentally, and they did, and and we took it as a lesson. We've gotten them last year, and then they wanted us a little bit more than we wanted them that day, and from that point on we changed our mindset a little bit. The girls did, and we went down to Webster County and played at the Marshall County Shootout in January, and we lost in overtime.
Okay.
And so that's the 2 losses.
30-2, unreal. Well, we look forward to seeing you and the girls on Monday night down in McLeansboro, and best of luck to you there, and thanks for your time today on the Sports Couch, all right?
Well, thank you. Can I ask you a question?
You bet, Matt.
What's that going to be streamed on so I can let our fans know?
It'll be on AreaSports.net, our website, AreaSports.net, and we'll also duplicate it on FoxesFans.net. So the same stream will be on both websites.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, AreaSports.net or FoxesFans.net, okay? All right.
All right.
Appreciate it, Matt. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Head coach of the Carterville Lady Lions, Matt Crain, 30-2 on the season. Wow. Unbelievable.
It'll be a heck of a game Monday night.
It will be a heck of a game. It sure will. And I'll tell you what, if you can go through some more scores here, Danny, I'm going to get Tyler Repking on the line here.
All right. In 3A regional championships, Mattoon beat Centralia 45-36 at Jerseyville. Highland defeated Jerseyville 51-31. At Olney, the Lady Rams of Mount Vernon defeat Olney 54-48. At Troy Triad, it's Bethalto Civic Memorial 60, East St. Louis 53. So you're going to have Oakville Lady Rockets taking on Hume Shiloh at Farina South Central in 1A Monday night. At Tuesday night at Hamilton County, it's going to be the 30-2 Carterville Lady Lions taking on the T-Town Lady Wooden Shoes. So, should be some great basketball to get ready to head up there to Peoria next weekend in girls 1A, 2A basketball.
Well, we, of course, have heard the discussion from the Carterville side of this matchup Monday night from Coach Matt Crain of the Lady Lions. And let's talk to somebody from Teutopolis right now. He's a video producer up in the Effingham, T-Town area. He's a former athlete there at Teutopolis and shoots a lot of video highlights and stuff of their games, and so he knows the Lady Shoes very well. We're going to bring in Tyler Repking to the show. Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
How you guys doing this morning?
Great.
Glad to be here for you guys.
You bet. It's good to have you on the Sports Couch, and being a former wooden shoe athlete yourself, you certainly bleed that blue and gold, and you've seen a lot of the Lady Shoes this year, haven't you?
Yeah. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, I hear you fine. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. No, I graduated from T-Town High School in 2014. I played baseball 4 years of high school. I'm a very enthusiastic I'm a 24-year-old energetic kid. Kind of talking about the blue and gold behind me. Yeah, real quick. I mean, blue and gold is invested in me. I mean, I went to T-Town. I've covered T-Town basketball all my life, and this game with Paris against, talking about the upset game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Paris coming in at 30-0. They're the number one team in 2A. Our girls have played them twice this season already. The first game we played them at the Charleston Holiday Tournament, lost by 4 points, I believe, for the championship game. And then we lost to them at Paris 4 days later by 5 points.
Mm-hmm. And
let's just put it this way: our coach had the perfect plan of attack on Monday night. Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah.
A very, oh my gosh! You talk about a perfect plan of attack. The girl, the number one player for them was Sarah Isis, and our center, senior center Carson Meddy. You gotta give a big time shout out to her. She played the defensive game of her life. She basically, we had a plan of doing a face guard, and she did not take her eye off of her. And she played for 31 minutes. She didn't come out. She only came out for like a minute in the game. And she was a huge threat to Sarah on the defensive end.
Maddie, where did that name come from? That's not a Teutopolis name.
I know, right?
I can't believe there's a Maddie involved in this. I think he's went out and recruited some kid.
You had to have somebody to go with the Niemergs and the Niebergies, and the Repkings.
Niebergies, Niemergs, Meddies. I mean, there's a few Repkings like me. I got 100,000%.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I mean, as far as you guys know where the ISIS girl's going to college.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
DePaul in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a D3 school, but I mean, she's averaging 25 to 28 points per game, and Carson Meddy shut her down to 11 points.
Oh.
And I mean, you talk about T-Town was ranked number 6 coming into the season, and we dropped out. We dropped back in, came back in. We had an up and down season, but we knew that the Paris team was going to be on our backs, and our T-Town people. Me coming from a T-Town and born and raised, I lived just south of T-Town about 6 miles, and like I said, I graduated in 14, and I know that our girls have that in them. They just had to have the coach tell them, hey, we can do this. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a grind. Get through the game. And Paris went to Altamont, who's highly ranked, and they lost the sectional championship on Thursday night to Tri-County. And the other girl is Carrington Crable for Paris, who's a really good player. She and ISIF, they take away your fundamentals. They take away everything. They make it look easy. But like in the first quarter, let's just put it this way: T-Town girls were ahead 10-2 in the first quarter.
And I think it was 14-4 after that, I believe. Yeah.
It was 10-2. They called timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 14-4 in the first quarter. At the half, it was 24-14. And I mean, ISIF, she shot from 3. She couldn't get much go because she would get frustrated because Carson was playing such tenacious defense. On the offensive end, Olivia Niemer, speaking of Olivia Niemer, she is now going to 3-point showdown at Bloomington next Thursday night.
Is she the girl I got on the screen posing with the trophy with you right now?
That would be Carson Meddy.
Okay, all right.
That would be Carson Meddy. That's the one that had the big defense.
The big defensive effort. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Olivia, she made 7 3-pointers in the first round. She had to go to a shoot-off, and she made 8 out of 10 in the second round.
That's impressive. 8 out of 10 from behind the arc. Yep.
That's insane. That's a lot. That's a crazy amount. But no, I tell you guys right now. I mean, obviously coming from a T-Town fan, I'm not going to give anything away for the game Monday night because, I mean, obviously you know that. But I will say this, that our girls are playing really well right now. And this game, I mean, our entire nation of Shoes fans, I mean, our 8th grade boys are playing for the first place state at Colonial Unity. And we had an amazing fan cast. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I've got some of your students, picture of your students up on the screen. You had a great section, and you're right, you had a huge crowd there at Paris.
Well, picture is that Paris is 34-0. They're undefeated. They are number 1 in the state, and we're playing on their home court. Okay? Think about that. Think about their fans.
Yep.
Think about our fans wanting to beat them on their home court, and we knew that once the regular season was over, okay, that game was going to be coming up to us. You know it, guys. Be ready. And we were tailgating before the game Thursday night. And before I go on, for those of you who don't know who I am, Repking Media. Go on my YouTube, Repking Media. Check out my highlight reel. It's not a lot of video, but it's enough to see what happened in the game. And you can see Carson Meddy, one video. I just shot a 3 and it hit the front of the rim. That's basically what happened for her the entire game. She made 2 or 3 threes, but like I said, she scored 30 points against St. Joe Ogden on Monday night.
Yeah,
and she's the real deal.
Well, I would say the defensive effort by Meddy was probably similar to what you did against Tyra Buss here a few years ago, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah, we played. So Lori, our head coach, she brought back the Tyra Buss defensive output on her. Basically, safeguarding her, do not let her move. If she shoots on you, she does. I mean, you can't do anything about that when you're contesting a girl and she buries it on you. I mean, that's nothing you can do about that.
Hey, what's the overall record of the ladies' shoes now?
We're now 25-8.
25-8. Okay.
Yes, we and people are now saying like we're clearly the underdog going into that game. Clearly, you got to be, you know. But you can't ever count a team out. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. And when you play with such Sierra Repking comes out, starts the game, comes out, shoots 2 threes in a row. Like, boom, boom. Our defensive, we could not have played a better defensive game. They cut the lead to 4 points in the fourth quarter. But if they would have made one more shot, the Paris fan section would have exploded.
Mm-hmm.
But we made 10 of 12 free throws down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And on my Facebook post, if you go to my Facebook, Tyler Repking, you will see that, I mean, I'm still on cloud 9 because I don't know if I'll ever forget about this game. Like, this was a huge game. And it's not just a huge game, but it's like, okay, this is a state championship type atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you guys see all of my YouTube highlights?
Oh, yeah. Well, now they've got to turn the page, and they got a tough Carterville team. They're playing Monday night on neutral floor at McLeansboro. What do you look for in that game Monday night, Tyler?
Well, from what I'm hearing, they have a really good player for Carterville. They have a couple of good athletes, but what we need to do is we need to cut down on transition points, get back on transition, because we did a great job against Paris. Now we need to focus on who's going to be the step-up person now. We have three of the girls. There's 3 girls, or a few people didn't play that game. The first time we played them at Salem tournament because they were hurt and other things. But I won't say their names because I don't want to give anything away. But from my knowledge, I wasn't down at that game. I had people keep me updated on that game. We lost to Carterville by 4 points in Salem tournament, and it was a very close game. And like I said, it was without 2 or 3 of our best players. So, and they were a little dinged up, and so they decided, let's just wait a little bit. And they didn't play for another week, and they played a week after that. So, from what I'm hearing from Carterville, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're 33-1.
They're actually 30-2.
30-2, okay.
30-2, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, 30-2. Yeah. Tyler, we're just about out of time, man. We're going to have to let you go here in just a moment, but we do appreciate your time today, and I want to let you know for all your wooden shoe fans up there that if they can't make the trip down Monday night for that 7 o'clock contest with Carterville, that we will be video streaming the game live on AreaSports.net, okay, so they can watch it worldwide from...
If you tag me in that post, I will share it and let people know in the T-Town area to listen live if they can't make it, or watch live if they can't make it.
Okay, we will do that, and I'm sure we'll see you down there shooting some video highlights, won't we?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be all over social media.
Yeah, okay. Tyler, we appreciate your time today. Love your enthusiasm for Totopolis sports, that's for sure. And
absolutely.
We'll do it again sometime, all right? Take care.
Sounds good. Thank you, Randy.
All right, you bet. Bye-bye. That is Tyler Repking. He has a video production company called Repking Media. He covers a lot of the sports up there with video highlights for Totopolis, and you can obviously tell he bleeds the blue and gold, Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Former athlete and player there, played baseball for them, and didn't have time to get into it with him about the game last night. He actually went and shot highlights last night of the St. Anthony-Casey Westfield game.
Yeah.
So he does do some other things besides Totopolis games. As far as shooting video highlights, so didn't have time to go into that with him last night, but I'm sure he saw a barn burner there as St. Anthony and Casey went at it.
Yep, that was a good game up there last night.
48-43. So, again, Monday night, Danny and I will be there at Jerry Sloan Gym in McLeansboro. Should be a great knockdown, drag-out fight here between Carterville and Totopolis, huh?
Should be a dandy.
Man, it's going to be something. Anything else you want to
add? Let her roll.
Let her roll. Yep. Okay.
Should be a big week of basketball.
It's going to be a real big week of basketball. Sure is. Appreciate all the guests that are on the show with us this morning. Doug Creel, Scott McElravy, Jeff Lonnon, Travis Pinkston, Doug Miller, Matt Crain, and Tyler Repking. And again, thanks to the sponsors for making it all possible. We'll be back next Saturday morning for 90 minutes of great local sports talk. It's the Sports Couch at 8:30 here on Super Hits. AM 1210 and 98.7 FM, WILY, and on AreaSports.net. Have yourself a great weekend, everyone. So long.